Next, it's time to make the sauce. Large cans of San Marzano tomatoes are poured into buckets, topped with sugar, and blended.
For us, we use a 1-day shelf life, so we're just trying to keep it marinating for a few hours, if not a full day, and it's going right into our pizza. So we like to keep it as fresh as possible. It's nice, thick, and imported tomatoes.
Grimaldi's goes through about 700 quarts of tomatoes every week, or roughly 662.4 liters. Upstairs, 200 mozzarella balls are cut into thin strips, a process that's gone unchanged since opening.
The Grimaldi's cheese is very special. It's made only for Grimaldi's, so nowhere else in the world can get our flavor profile that we're doing on our mozzarella. It is a low moisture, low sodium, UV dried fresh mozzarella, so it can withstand the high intense heat of our oven and be cooked and melt to perfection in a short amount of time.
By the end of the week, Grimaldi's will hand slice around 2,000 pounds of mozzarella. An hour before opening, Grimaldi's restocks its coal so they can relight the oven.
Okay, so right now he's throwing 40-pound bags of anthracite coal into the bottom of our oven chute right over here. So we keep about anywhere from 10 to 12 bags down there at a time. And what we're doing is for at least a day or more, we try and dry out our coal to make sure that it's burning a little cleaner, easier. It's not popping from the inside, on top of pizzas, etc. as it starts to heat up. It makes our stoking process and our oven heat up a little bit quicker too.
The pizzeria keeps embers in the brick oven overnight, so it stays warm.
So right now we have a grate inside of our oven. It's holding our coal up, but he's right now flipping it and getting rid of all the old coal. The reason why we don't clean it out at nighttime because we want to make sure that it stays warm overnight because it's going to take too many hours to heat up our floor.
When the charcoal ignites, the team begins shoveling 200 pounds of coal into the side of the oven. Compared to wood, anthracite coal burns longer, hotter, and with less smoke.
You can't get a gas oven or a wood oven up to 1,000 degrees the way we can. So we're able to get a different, not only flavor profile from the coal, but we're also getting a different profile from the heat and intensity that pizza is going under.
When the doors open at 11:30 a.m., it's all hands on deck to fill orders. To be an official Grimaldi's pie, it needs to be made a certain way. Unlike most pizzerias, Grimaldi's built its pizza cheese first. Slices of mozzarella are evenly placed around the dough, and the gaps are then filled with sauce.
So when it melts together, you're seeing a little bit of both, but you're also getting a bite of not too much sauce, not too much cheese. So that's what we're looking for with Grimaldi's.
Specialty toppings range from hand-pinched Italian sausage to thinly sliced prosciutto and artichokes. And most pies are finished off with a sprinkling of the Grimaldi's Romano blend, extra virgin olive oil, and a few pieces of fresh basil. To help streamline the cooking process, Grimaldi's uses a two-shelf system.
So we have a pre-stretch and then a stretching and cheese section on this side. We're pre-stretching cheese in, throwing them on the first shelf right here. Everyone standing on this side is a topper, so that means they're putting on the toppings, the sauce on, they're finishing it off with the olive oil, the basil, and then finishing it off by putting it on the top shelf. The top shelf is so the oven guy knows that they're ready to go in the oven.
Working a coal oven takes years of experience to master. From memorizing cook times to keeping a consistent heat, it's not easy to make a perfect pie.
So what we're doing is we're loading them in, we're closing the door right away, we're giving it a pop of heat to the bottom of the pizza so we can actually move it around without ripping it or anything like that. What's rare about Brooklyn is that we use this copper stick right here. It's very important with this high heat if you're using a wooden stick. They're just breaking and wearing and tearing and drying out non-stop, especially when you're picking up a heavy pizza. So you can see it's only been about 60 seconds and they're already rising up. So basically I'm making sure that I can pick them up, give them a small spin, and then I'm actually just moving them into position right here.
The high heat means that the pizzas only need a few minutes to cook. Water in the dough evaporates quickly, creating air bubbles and leaving behind a light, airy texture in the crust. while charcoal gives the pizza a charred, slightly smoky flavor and a crunchy texture. Outside, people begin queuing and waiting up to an hour to get a table. And 16 minutes after opening, the first and third stories of the restaurant are practically full. On the dining floor, you'll find servers with over 20 years of experience and a good sense of humor.
Oh, mommy, I'm hungry. Boom. You got it, Papa.
While Grimaldi's has an established clientele, a vast majority of its business comes from tour groups. Since 2005, Tony Muya, who runs pizza tours, has been coming to showcase Grimaldi's pizza.
So if I can describe Grimaldi's in 3 words, it would probably be legendary, authentic, and beloved, because people love Grimaldi's.
The key to making a great pizza is passion. It's love. You take dough, cheese, or sauce by itself, it's just simple objects. But when you're building a pizza, it's a piece of art. So for us and for myself, it's the passion and love I put into every pizza that makes it special.
Pues llevo más de 30 años en la empresa a cocinar paellas gigantes por todo el mundo. Soy Vicente Martínez y estamos cocinando aquí una paella de 1.400 raciones para las fiestas populares del pueblo de Quesa.
This is known as the Festival of the Reserve. On the morning of the festival, Vicente and his crew offload and wheel 2 2.35-meter paella pans into the town square. When the pans are secure, they get to cooking.
Lo primero que pongo en la paella es el aceite y luego se nivela y ya luego se prende fuego y la carne para sofreírla.
Each paella is cooked with 8.5 liters of olive oil, 75 kilos of chicken, and 30 kilos of rabbit.
Pues estamos sofriendo la carne para dorarla bien doradita, como verás esa ya está. Se sofríe en el centro y luego vamos cambiándola, así se sofríe toda la carne perfecta.
When the meat is done, 40 kilos of frozen green beans, butter beans, and white beans are added into the mix, along with 5 kilos of snails.
Los ingredientes que se utilizan son los típicos de Valencia, de la huerta de Valencia. El pollo, el conejo y las verduras son típicas de Valencia. En cada zona se guisa de una manera, pero la base siempre es el pollo, el conejo y las verduras, lo que es la judía verde y el garrofón.
Once everything is mixed together, 135 liters of water are added into the pan.
Lo que te lleva un poco loco, si tú quieres, es el agua. La cantidad de agua es lo que te puede llevar un poco más loco, porque como trabajamos con leña, la leña, dependiendo de si está más seca, más húmeda, si quema más rápido o menos rápido.
After the water has been added, 60 kilos of a local medium-grained rice called arroz redondo is tossed into the mix. Cooking with wood means that the water and fire need to be constantly monitored so that the rice doesn't burn.
Es un plato bastante difícil de cocinar para la gente que no lo ha hecho nunca, sobre todo porque se hace a leña. De hecho, verás que muchos chefs rehuyen de cocinar arroz.
In Spain, bomba, albufera, and redondo rice are commonly used because they can absorb more liquid and flavor than regular rice without getting mushy.
Pues la paella, como se dice ahora, es una explosión de sabores, carnes, de verduras, el arroz absorbe esos sabores y es una delicia.
Paella pans often come in several diameters, but the general shape is always wide, shallow, and round with sloping edges. This shape is important because it helps the rice cook evenly in a single layer.
Cada vez el arroz está más reposado y mejor. Todos queremos ser los primeros, pero cuando mejor está la paella es al final.
And many Spaniards agree.
Corraos es esa parte de arroz que se pega un poquito entre la paella y el arroz que está así. Y eso lo rascas un poquito y queda de muerte con el resto de arroz.
While everyone enjoys paella, the exact ingredients for what constitutes a true paella is still hotly debated.
A ver, hay arroces y paellas. Paella es la valenciana, punto.
While the festival is full of joy and celebration today, the origins of its birth are much darker. In 1690, Kesa experienced a devastating outbreak of the bubonic plague, which left only a few members of a single family alive. Resilient, the surviving family gave shelter and food to anyone who moved back to Kesa.
Para conmemorar ese hecho de que la gente volvió a nuestro pueblo y Kesa volvió a nacer, pues símbolo de nuestra hospitalidad como pueblo, pues hacemos 2 paellas gigantes y entregamos el panecillo para repartir a todo el mundo que quiera venir a visitarnos.
Paella is thought to have come from farm workers in Valencia, who used shallow pans to cook rice over wood fires and added in ingredients they could forage or hunt to create a cheap but filling one-dish lunch. Over time, the elites of Spain started to enjoy paella for weekday lunches, and it became more popular across the country.